Hey, Lakers fans. Today we are diving deep into everything happening with the team right now. And let me tell you, it is an interesting time for the purple and gold. The front office has been very active behind the scenes, exploring options to strengthen the roster, especially on the wings. And there's a lot to unpack regarding trades, potential targets, and roster construction. The big conversation is centered around finding that starting-level wing player, the kind of two-way star who can fit seamlessly into this Lakers lineup and elevate both offense and defense. However, the reality is that the market for those kinds of players is incredibly thin, and the Lakers might need to get creative if they want to land someone who makes an immediate impact. From the reports circulating, the Lakers are exploring all avenues to bring in talent that complements their core. Names like Andrew Wiggins have surfaced, especially if a team like Miami is considering salary dumps. The dynamics of the trade market are complex, and sometimes what seems like a straightforward move is much trickier when you consider contracts, matching salaries, and the fact that other teams are playing their own strategic games. A lot of the conversation has shifted to how the Lakers can leverage expiring contracts or package assets in three-team trades to land someone impactful. But even then, the perfect fit is not guaranteed. Looking at possible targets, there are a few players who could make a difference, even if they are considered secondary options. For example, a player like Terrence Mann brings versatility and defensive reliability that the Lakers currently lack. While he might not be a marquee name like some of the stars being discussed, his skill set provides real value as a rotational piece that can slide into multiple positions, defend across the perimeter, and give the team stability when the starters need rest. Sometimes these second-tier moves are what truly strengthen a team because they improve depth and allow the stars to perform without overextending themselves. Then there's the question of higher-profile players like Michael Porter Jr. or Miles Bridges. While Porter Jr. can elevate the offense, his defense is not a perfect match for what the Lakers need right now, especially if the plan is to keep Austin Reeves and maintain balance across the rotation. Bridges has been rumored as potentially available, but even if he were, the Lakers would likely have to give up significant assets to acquire him, and the timing might not be ideal with trade deadlines and other teams holding leverage. The intricacies of the trade market mean that even when a player is technically available, the deal has to make sense financially, strategically, and for the long-term direction of the team. Part of what makes this situation interesting is how teams are managing their own rosters. The Pelicans, for example, have stated that certain players are off-limits, though that may just be strategic positioning. In practice, it's about testing the market and gauging interest without giving away leverage. The Lakers have to navigate this carefully, understanding that other teams are not in a rush to trade stars unless the offer aligns perfectly with their goals. It's a balancing act, and sometimes patience is the key to landing the right pieces rather than chasing the most obvious names. What becomes clear is that the Lakers' real opportunity might lie in targeting a combination of second-tier players rather than going all in on a single superstar wing. By securing multiple players who bring complementary skills, whether through trades or off-season acquisitions, the team can address weaknesses in depth, versatility, and defensive balance. These moves may not make headlines immediately, but they provide stability and create opportunities for the core stars to excel. It's about building a rotation where every player has a defined role, and energy can be managed across quarters without relying too heavily on any single contributor. Depth is more than just having bodies on the court. It's having players who can impact games immediately when they step in. Think of it this way. Adding 2 or 3 solid rotation players can transform the Lakers' bench into a legitimate threat, which then allows starters to play their natural roles without fatigue. Players like Vondo, when properly managed with shorter minutes and bursts of energy, can be far more effective than when overextended. Similarly, having athletes like Keon Ellis or a Terrence Mann-type player in the rotation increases defensive intensity and allows more dynamic offensive sets. It's the subtle adjustments like these that can elevate a team from very good to championship caliber. The trade market also provides markers for value, as seen in recent deals involving stars or near-star players. When you observe what a team is willing to exchange for a rising talent, it informs what realistic expectations should be. For the Lakers, Understanding these benchmarks can help in planning secondary trades and targeting players who, while not headline grabbers, fill essential gaps in the roster. Often, these players bring a level of consistency that is invaluable during long, grueling seasons and playoff runs. Ultimately, the Lakers' strategy seems to be a combination of patience and opportunism. While fans may dream of landing a high-profile wing immediately, the reality is that building sustainable success often comes from the right combination of depth, complementary skills, and calculated risks. Targeting multiple second-tier players can achieve this by solidifying bench strength, maintaining defensive balance, and allowing offensive stars to shine without being overburdened. This approach also positions the team well for the offseason, where additional moves can be made with more flexibility and fewer constraints from the current trade market. As we continue to look at the Lakers situation, one thing becomes increasingly clear: flexibility and timing are just as important as talent acquisition. The team has to consider not only who is available right now, but also who can fit into the long-term vision. It's not just about adding another name to the roster. It's about creating chemistry, balancing minutes, and ensuring that the pieces complement each other across both ends of the floor. This is where secondary trades and smart bench additions become critical. Landing one or two versatile wings, or even a combination of young and experienced players, could drastically change how the rotation functions and make the starters more effective. The Lakers' core, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and key supporting players, already provides a strong foundation. The question is how to maximize that foundation while minimizing weaknesses. That's where players like a Terrence Mann, a Keon Ellis, or someone similar come into play. These players might not generate the same excitement as a superstar trade, but their impact is felt in every possession. Defense, energy, spacing, and even mentorship for younger contributors all matter when building a contender. The beauty of this approach is that it creates multiple options for coaches, whether it's running lineups for short bursts, alternating defensive matchups, or adjusting rotations to keep stars fresh in high-stakes games. Looking at the broader market, it's clear that the supply of high-caliber wings is extremely limited. Some of the players that could be on the Lakers' radar, like Andrew Wiggins or Miles Bridges, come with complications. Salary matching, other teams' unwillingness to trade, and timing constraints all make these deals tricky. And even if a trade could be executed, it often requires giving up significant future assets or compromising depth in other positions. This is why a strategic pivot towards second-tier options is not only realistic, but potentially more rewarding. By assembling a collection of versatile, skilled rotation players, the Lakers can create a stronger, more balanced roster without overcommitting. Another factor to consider is how these moves influence team dynamics. Bringing in multiple second-tier players can transform the bench into a functional, complementary unit that alleviates pressure on stars. This allows the starters to operate in their preferred roles and maximizes efficiency on both offense and defense. For example, reducing minutes for high-energy players like Vondo ensures that every minute on the court is impactful. Similarly, integrating young, athletic wings into defensive schemes can increase the team's ability to switch effectively, close out on shooters, and maintain pace during fast breaks. These are the subtle adjustments that often decide playoff series, and the Lakers appear to be considering them carefully. Of course, the Lakers also have to think ahead to the offseason. Even if immediate trades for top-tier wings are unlikely, acquiring secondary targets now positions the team to make larger moves later. Having controlled players through bird rights or long-term contracts provides stability and leverage when negotiating bigger trades or free agent signings. This strategy allows the Lakers to avoid competing with multiple teams in an open market, where prices can be inflated and opportunities limited. Essentially, adding reliable secondary pieces now creates optionality for bigger moves down the line without jeopardizing team cohesion. Part of this strategy also involves evaluating offensive balance. While players like Michael Porter Jr. can boost scoring, their fit has to be considered in the context of the current rotation. Can they defend at a high level? Do they complement LeBron and Davis's styles? Will their inclusion create spacing issues or disrupt chemistry? These are the questions the front office is asking, and it's why secondary players who offer two-way ability are often more valuable than a high-scoring but one-dimensional wing. By focusing on versatility, the Lakers can maintain flexibility in both rotation management and in-game strategy, which is essential for navigating the grind of an NBA season. Trade examples from other teams also provide benchmarks for value. Observing what teams are willing to give up for players with similar profiles allows the Lakers to gauge market expectations and avoid overpaying. Deals like the Trae Young trade demonstrate that even elite-level players can be acquired for a combination of young assets, expiring contracts, and draft considerations. Translating this to the Lakers situation, it's clear that targeting second-tier wings or complementary rotation pieces could yield similar value without demanding blockbuster trades. These players might not steal headlines, but they have an outsized effect on depth, defensive versatility, and overall team balance. It's also worth emphasizing the strategic advantage of having multiple players capable of filling similar roles. By adding depth at the wing position, the Lakers can implement rotations that optimize matchups, reduce exposure to injuries, and maintain consistent intensity across the game. Star players can focus on high-leverage situations while secondary contributors provide reliable performance during the quieter stretches. This approach builds resilience, ensures energy management, and allows the team to sustain performance over long stretches, which is especially crucial during back-to-back games or deep playoff runs. At the same time, the Lakers' front office must remain nimble. Opportunities in the trade market can appear and disappear quickly, and patience is often rewarded. Waiting for the right second-tier player to become available can be far more beneficial than forcing a deal that disrupts team chemistry or costs excessive assets. Meanwhile, controlled acquisitions through bird rights or structured trades allow the team to plan for the future while maximizing the current roster. This dual focus, immediate improvement and long-term sustainability, is what separates a championship-caliber team from a squad that falls short despite star talent. Another aspect of these secondary acquisitions is how they impact leadership and culture. Bringing in players who are versatile, team-oriented, and adaptable reinforces the team's identity and complements the leadership of LeBron and Davis. These traits can often be as impactful as pure talent because they maintain focus, enhance communication, and stabilize rotations during critical moments. Every possession matters in tight games, and having trusted, reliable contributors on the floor ensures that the Lakers remain competitive even when the stars are resting or adjusting to in-game situations. Finally, it's clear that the Lakers' path forward might not be the flashiest, but it is strategically sound. By targeting a combination of secondary players, leveraging existing assets, and maintaining flexibility for future moves, the team can improve depth, enhance versatility, and preserve long-term stability. These moves may not dominate headlines, but they're the type of calculated decisions that sustain success across a full season and into the playoffs. If executed correctly, this approach has the potential to transform the Lakers into a more balanced, resilient, and championship-ready team, capable of competing at the highest level while protecting the energy and performance of its core stars. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, in what could mark one of the most seismic shifts in the NBA landscape, whispers are circulating that LeBron James might be preparing to leave the Los Angeles Lakers. Sources close to the league suggest that discussions are quietly underway, fueling speculation that the four-time NBA champion could be eyeing a fresh start elsewhere, signaling the potential end of an era in Hollywood. LeBron's tenure in Los Angeles has been nothing short of storied. From leading the Lakers to their 17th championship to becoming the face of basketball in a city known for glamour and big personalities, his impact transcends the court. Fans have come to expect his signature combination of leadership, scoring, and playmaking. Yet, behind the glitz and the headlines, murmurs of unrest and dissatisfaction have quietly gained traction. Insiders hint that LeBron may be looking for a new challenge, possibly in a market where he can chase another championship while shaping the next phase of his legacy. The Lakers, on their part, have yet to issue any official statement, and front office executives are reportedly bracing for all possibilities. LeBron's exit, should it come to pass, would not only redefine the Lakers' strategy, but also send shockwaves throughout the league. Analysts are already speculating which teams could make a serious pitch. Several franchises are believed to be positioning themselves for a potential blockbuster acquisition, understanding the magnetic draw LeBron carries, both on the court and commercially. This rumor has set social media ablaze. Fans are divided between disbelief and anticipation, while former players and commentators are weighing in with predictions that range from strategic moves for contending teams to unprecedented roster shakeups. The question on everyone's mind is not just where LeBron might land next, but what the Lakers' future will look like without their most iconic player in decades. If true, this move could redefine the twilight of LeBron James' career, shaping not only his personal journey, but the balance of power in the NBA for years to come. One thing is certain. The league is watching closely, and basketball fans around the world are bracing for what could be the beginning of a new chapter in NBA history. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.